Hello, good people.
Hi, guys.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Betty.
And we are
The Rages.
And this is
the workshop where we discuss the A to Z of millennial marriage and millennial lifestyles. The good, the bad, the messy, all of it.
And today's episode is letter F for friendship. Or
You
rather,
see,
friends for life.
there are people who are married, but they're not friends.
Yes.
And to discuss this topic, we want to call the people who know. Remember, we always say, I talk a lot, but I don't know everything.
We don't know everything.
So we want to introduce the people who know all about being friends for life. I will let them introduce themselves.
All right, greetings all of you. My name is Obadiah Mwaura. I'm a minister of the gospel, and I'm also an author of 2 books. And one of them is what we shall be focusing on today, Friends for Life. And we've been married for 32 years now. And I believe that today is going to be a very, very beautiful day. I'm so excited to be here to talk about Friends for Life, because that's who we are with my wife here.
Yes.
And I'm sure that by the end of this show, you, even if maybe you're not such close friends with your wife, you will actually discover it's a real treasure. And therefore, I'm looking forward to a great conversation this moment.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes.
It's a great and joy to be here. I'm Rose Mwaura, married for 32 years to my friend. And it's a beautiful thing to get married to your friend.
I think it's so funny. I'm here saying, on this show, we talk about marriage. These people have seen me in diapers. Let me just start there.
Yeah, sure.
That's how long they
Sure.
have been friends.
Right.
That's where we're coming from.
Sure.
I think to start us off, maybe you can tell us where do you even start? I feel like that's a question that people don't know. When we say, are you friends in your marriage?
Yes.
How do you even start to answer that question? How do we check if we're even friends?
Right? I believe there are many ways by which you can tell whether you're a friend to somebody. Number one, friends usually have their own coded language. So if you find you have no coded language with your friend, chances are that you're not friends, right?
Yes.
Friends are usually not very official, not very formal with each other, even when they're dealing with a very serious issue.
Yes.
They will deal with the issue sometimes in the midst of laughter. So friends normally don't have a lot of bureaucracy.
Yes.
So you find that when people are friends, they can discuss anything and everything. If you find there are too many areas that are no-go zones between you and a person, check that relationship.
Yeah. Another thing is that friends, they protect one another. They don't go backbiting behind. They will always come and guard this friend. And so they don't allow the third party to come and destroy the foundation they have laid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that these are some of the ways we can see if we're friends. You don't think it's a big deal
Yes,
because it's
yes,
part of
yes,
your
yes.
everyday life. But am I truly being a friend to Ken? I'm not checking myself. Am I being a friend to Ken if I'm going saying, oh, Ken did,
Yes.
Ken never, Ken? What would you say is the difference between confiding in another friend outside of a marriage versus backbiting or talking badly about where's the boundary?
I believe backbiting doesn't have goodwill. So if you talk about a friend, even if you probably want to help them, you talk about that person from a place of ownership. I'm not telling you, my friend is so bad.
Yes.
I'm simply saying I need help, maybe to help the person. And that means I am also standing alongside that person. But with backbiting, you're standing afar off and pointing a finger. And therefore, even if you're looking for help, so the difference between now looking for help and backbiting is your position vis-a-vis that person.
Am I with him?
Where are you?
Yes.
Are you alongside, or are you afar off pointing a finger?
And I think one of the things we live by, and I think it's a version of that, is even if somebody has a problem,
Yes.
you learn to separate the person and
With
the
each
problem.
other.
The problem.
So we address this problem
Yes.
that is affecting her,
Right.
not you are the problem.
I'll
That's
give
it.
an
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
like a practical example is we don't steal, but for the sake of the example, I'll never say,
Yes.
Ken is a thief.
Right.
Because I'm shikanishing him with the problem. So I'll just be like, Ken stole. So
That's true.
separating the
Yes,
person and the
yes,
problem.
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's
And maybe how can we, like in our scenario, how can we maintain the friendship? What keeps that fire burning?
Regularly,
What are things maybe you guys have done in your life that keeps it burning and not and making it stronger with years
Right.
going
32
by?
years of friendship is a long time. I'm sure there's a few things you know.
It's a long time.
Yes.
Of course, when you're laying the foundation of your marriage, it's very crucial. Maybe you used to joke, or you joked, you know, you have some time whereby you hit one another and what have you. It doesn't mean that now, because you're old,
Now you
those
stop.
will
Can
stop.
stop, yeah.
Or when the children come in, there's that season, but there's still that fun in you, fan the fire. If they sometimes you go out, it doesn't stop because some things have come into their life as the marriage grow. No, but it's like you continue making it better. Yeah.
And you can't, in building friendship, you can't become too adult
Yeah.
and you lose the fun of being a child. Actually, friendship makes people remain children. You have your own little games, you have your own fun, you have your own jokes, you have your own, you know, whatever it is that really excites you, you enjoy that space. You never mind being with each other because you have your own language, you have your own way of
I'm hearing
enjoying
a lot of laughter.
Yes.
You see, that time I think that's a nice check of
Yes.
to know if you're friends.
Right.
Do we laugh? That's like a question to ask. When is the last time
Yes.
we
You
laughed?
laughed
Without people,
out
without
loud. I mean,
external
just the two of you.
influences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Between, let's say, in a room,
That's
just
a
the two of
good
you.
check.
how-
When did you last laugh?
Yes.
Yeah, because if you can't laugh, actually, if you can't find fun in the other one's jokes, there's a problem.
Yes.
And if you don't have jokes that can excite the other person and make them feel nice and stuff, I mean, there must be things that you like doing.
I like
It's
it.
like your little naughtiness. You
Yes,
have to have your
it's our
little
own.
naughty-
I like what you said, Offset, even before we started.
Yes.
You were talking about once guys go on the wedding day.
Right.
After the wedding day,
Yes.
they go into this formal setting.
Official. I am a wife.
Oh, I'm a wife, I'm a husband. They're supposed to respond in this way to
Yes.
me and respect me in this way. So maybe I love what you said about that, and maybe we can look into that. Yes.
Actually, sometimes even the advice that some people give may do more harm than good. Because there are people who are told from now on, now you're a man, so you can't go to the kitchen, you can't go where the ladies are, you can't, 2 minutes, you can't.
Yes.
But yet, the space you're entering is a space of building relationship for life with someone. And that means you must have freedom.
Yeah.
Marriage it must be built upon friendship.
Yeah.
So what happens is, at the day of the wedding, people tend to swap that. They try to now put the marriage as the foundation and hope that they can get some friendship on top.
Okay, wait.
Wait, okay, say that again.
Okay, friendship then marriage.
Yes.
Not we are married and we're trying to be
Actually,
friends.
people marry because they are friends.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That is what motivates them to say, why don't we live together? We are such friends.
Oh wow.
Instead of these
Never
short
looked at
moments,
it like that.
why not just live together? So really, marriage is always built upon friendship.
Friendship.
All right? Or rather, the wedding is a result of friendship. But now the problem comes after the wedding.
Yeah.
People tend to turn this thing upside down. Now we are married, it becomes the foundation. Let's try to be friends.
Yes.
can't work.
Wow.
I mean that's enough to go home with.
That
But
already we can just end there and say,
But sometimes people will bring excuses. That of course now that since we are together, their responsibilities have
Too
come.
busy, yeah.
We are too busy. We are trying to build now this marriage, but that should not be the case.
or children.
Of children, or maybe now relatives.
Yeah.
The parents are here, and maybe you have responsibility of taking care of your brothers, your sisters, and what have you. But those ones are third party in this marriage. It's first and foremost, even the children. First and foremost is the two of you,
hey, love
because
that.
remember it's still death to us part. And so this is the journey
Not
we
until
have.
children do us part. Not
this is the
until
journey
work
we
does
have
us part.
started.
That's true.
Until
Yeah.
death does us part.
Actually, we can't blame children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many people blame children. Children are innocent. You can blame anyone. You can blame anything.
Yes.
But the point is, are you friends? That's a
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
Do you enjoy the company of your spouse? So these many excuses many times is because somebody already is failing. And of course, there are things you need to do because you've talked about how do you build it? How do you maintain it?
Yes.
Anything that is going to serve must be maintained.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you're using some machinery, there must be maintenance.
All of
Maybe
this
I
is
want
in the book.
to give an example. There are some people who maintaining by calling one another in the course of the day. You can call one another.
Yes, that's part of maintenance.
Like now for our case, we don't have, that's not our strength. And we have very good friends.
Okay.
Very good friends. We miss one another. Once in a while, of course, I'll send a message. He'll send a message. But there are some people who build on that. And that connects them so well.
And so it would be to also know how he prefers me
That's
to
it.
show
Yeah.
friendship.
It is
Yes.
good to know what works for you.
Yeah.
Because something may work for me, but it doesn't work for you.
Yes.
Like she's saying, for us, we may not, because of the nature of what I'm involved in. Many times I'm in with people,
Yes.
and move from maybe one meeting to another.
Yes.
So the talking and on phone and all that may not be the
Work.
greatest thing for
Yes,
us.
yes.
But for us, the greatest thing is when we meet,
All right.
we are good to go.
Oh,
I
wow.
remember when we got married, that was like one of the first to hiccups. We
Yes.
discovered
One of the
Yes.
we have
heavy fights we got on the hiccups.
Yes.
It wasn't a fight. It was okay, but
Yes.
I remember we discovered that we have different definitions of fun.
Yes.
So when
Yeah.
I think we're having fun,
Yes.
I'm not having fun.
he's not having fun.
Yes.
And when
True.
he's like, I'm like, but we don't have fun. He's like, what do you think we've been doing the last?
Right.
So
Last
he
2
thinks,
hours,
yeah. So
yes.
we had to come to the same place of
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
what is
And-
fun to you? What is fun to you?
Yes.
Okay, let's figure that
And
out.
this is built by now
Yes.
one of the things that communicating.
Yeah.
Because if you guys just stay and just we call them mumus.
Right.
Just there.
Yes.
If you communicate
Yes.
and say, I love this particular show.
Right.
And she's present, she's intentional, she'll pick that up and say, oh, so if I watch this show you like,
Yeah.
we will be bonded and we have something in common to
true.
discuss.
Yes.
And I think on the other hand, I like what you've said about maintenance and third party.
Yes.
So how do we handle or what do we do when now we are married? The wedding day has passed. Now we started our journey in marriage.
Right.
And now we all had friends.
Yes.
There are friends we will meet, we'll make new friends because we are all social beings.
Yes.
How do we handle now third parties, as you say?
friends outside of this.
Friends outside now of our marriage.
Right.
Is there like a particular way we say, keep only married friends?
Right.
Or if you have single friends, what is a limit? Maybe you can,
I
shed a light
think
on
for
that.
me, if you think about third parties, third parties will find room depending on your friendship. In other words, your friendship is the one that defines which third party is welcome and which third party is not welcome. So if you are very close and very tight, it means we have our own world. When somebody comes to enter into that world, our bond will either receive that person or reject.
Yeah.
So many times you're going to discover it's not one person insisting so and so must be our friend. It's both of you feeling like,
Oh, we haven't called Nani in a while. Yeah.
that feeling that do we really need this person this close? So if you build your bond well, it actually sorts that for you.
Yeah.
Problem comes when you haven't built your bond and you're trying now to personalize it. This was your friend. This is not a good person. It is you who brought this person. Now,
I love this is a show for millennials, but I love having non-millennials. I'm not saying which generation, non-millennials, because you have such insight on. We see things a different way. I would have never thought of that. That now that I think about it, there's people I'm thinking of that they just melted away. Just like we didn't sit and say we are not friends with so and so anymore, but we just sat and we're like,
That's
nah,
it.
that's not us anymore. That's okay.
Because even when you are seated there, you have a language. If I'm not part of that,
Yes.
I'll find it tiring being with you.
Yes.
So I'll prefer not to be with you.
Okay.
And that way, your closeness may either draw me closer
Or draw you
or
away.
push
you
me out
away.
of your
Yes, yes.
relationship.
All right, now how do we stay friends? Because we like laughter and fun, as you said, the little naughtiness we're playing. But there are times in life it's hard. It's hard to laugh. It's hard to play because life happens.
Yes.
And when things come, how do we now stay friends even when we're not smiling? Like there's nothing to be happy about right now.
Yes.
How do we stay friends?
I
How would you
believe
say?
I believe that one of the things that is so important is to be very sincere with each other.
Yeah.
Very sincere. That you don't have to be at your best all the time, and you don't have to hide anything. So there is a need to be very straightforward with each other. Just be sincere. Let me tell you exactly what I feel. And appreciate what I feel, because it's me feeling it. You know, sometimes I find people interesting.
You'll tell me I'm
Someone
sad,
is
but
trying
there's
tell
no need
me
to be sad.
I'm not happy. I'm telling you, I'm not happy. I'm the one who is not happy, not you. Or even food. Sometimes someone is telling you, no, more food. I'm telling you, that's enough for me.
I'm the one telling you.
My stomach. So in the same way, even in friendship, it should be that if somebody tells you what they are feeling, you cannot discount that. You can't tell them no. You tell them, okay, let me understand.
Okay.
What happened.
Yes.
Empathy is a critical aspect of building friendship. You can't dismiss my feelings.
Yeah.
You can't even minimize it.
Yeah.
You can't trash what I feel. It's me feeling it. Even if for you it looks like it's childish, it's my feeling.
It's my childish feeling.
It's my childish feeling. And it's necessary. It's important to me. And if you ignore it, this will be affected.
Okay. Wow. Wow, that's something.
I love this topic because I've always thought we're friends, but when we have these kind of conversations, the specific things that you would have never thought, oh, okay, if you can find that many reasons we're fighting, if we check back, it's just because you're not friends.
Yes.
If you were friends, as you said, communication, I would have told you, by the way, what you did, it didn't make me happy. And that's the cause of our fight.
And the other thing is, if you're friends, you won't take offense on something, number one.
Right.
So I will actually hear you out.
Yes.
I will hear to understand, not to respond.
That's true.
Then number two, I wouldn't be afraid to tell you even the silliest thing that happened to me. Even if, let's say, I went and I got scammed $1 million, 10 million Kenya shillings, I will not be afraid, because I know I have a friend.
You have a friend.
Who will walk in
Who'll
me
be on
in
my
this.
side.
Yes.
Have to
Whether
hide.
good or bad.
Yes.
I think
I think the other thing, even when conflicts come in,
Yes.
it's a good thing to solve it as fast as possible.
Okay.
Because the moment you keep it and one day,
It's festering,
2
now it's
days,
growing.
it magnifies this friendship, and of course the friendship will start coming down. You'll start seeing one another as an enemy. So if a conflict comes in, it's good to solve it.
Millennials, this thing of I'm not talking to him for the last 3 days.
No.
That's too long.
We fix it. I think we have a thing.
Even I think just saying mi nakuaga hivyo. That's the way I am.
Oh,
That's
no.
still not right. Hata kama umekuwa hivyo, you can change.
Yes.
You know, even the Bible says, don't let the sun go down while it's still angry. In other words, you're given room for the day.
By the time you're going to bed.
You're allowed to be angry, but don't let the sun
Go
go
down,
down. Because if it does, there'll be trouble.
Yeah.
There is enough trouble in a day. So don't
its
heap
own
up
self.
another day on top of it. And that's something you mentioned about, just saying something as it is.
Yes.
This morning we had a conversation about last night.
Yes.
Last night I was deep asleep. She I felt somebody push me and hit me. And I don't know what was, and I woke up. So I asked her, why were you beating me? Why were you beating me at night?
I understand you that. I have the same problem.
Keep quiet.
They say, no, I tapped you.
our guest
I'm
talk.
like,
Yeah,
no.
actually, yes. She said,
You
I
hit
just tapped
me.
you.
Yeah,
No, you
I
hit
just-
me.
no, I
Then I asked, so what happened? She said, you were snoring so hard. That's it. That means I was so asleep.
Yeah.
It needed force to wake me up. But you see those kind of things, they are also a way of checking your friendship.
Yeah.
If you are tense and you are fighting,
Yes.
you wouldn't even speak it.
Yes.
You just keep it.
That's why you even wake
But
up
now
annoyed.
that I can say it and even put it in a funny way, you are beating me up, and we laugh it off and move on. That's a measure of friendship.
wow.
It's a way you test kind of.
We have a thing, there's a emoji that's, I won't tell you guys which one, but there's one particular emoji.
Yeah.
Anytime we're texting, we have a thing where when there's something I want to talk to you about, but I don't know how to,
Right.
we just send each other that
Yes.
for, it's just, anytime you see that on the phone,
Yes.
it means there's a conversation we need to have,
have.
but sijui nianze wapi.
It even gives the other party room to prepare themselves.
Yeah.
Even kama ulikuwa- if you're in a tense meeting,
Yes.
then you see that,
And
you
I've
just
already
finish
for-
it up.
Yeah.
On the way home, now there's a conversation coming up that you need to
And for us, it's not come ready Don't
No,
come
no, don't come.
rest.
It's not
It's not
pack
fighting.
ammunition and
Yes.
fighting.
It's
No,
me
no.
building
saying
something.
I'm
Yeah.
about to be very vulnerable,
Right.
Yes.
and I don't know how to. So just hug
get
me first
ready.
before you even ask me. Just hug me
happens?
first.
Yes.
I think that's one of the ways. We,
Yeah.
That's true.
And I think something you mentioned about the bond we create, we'll either pull our friends in,
Yes.
and that now the thing shed something, or rather lit something in my head about friends for a season,
Yes.
friends for a certain time.
Right.
How do you put it if you want to, if you feel this is not the season of this friend?
Yeah.
Do you just shut up, or is it good to communicate?
Right.
Yeah, I think maybe
Yes.
first you can explain the difference between the types of friends outside of this.
Yes, yes.
Because that's your friends for life.
It is, yeah,
Now
friends
the
for-
other friends
other
out
friends.
there, yeah.
I believe that you can always be able to categorize friends based on what happens when you meet.
Yeah.
One of the ways that I like checking friendship is what I feel after meeting someone. On my way home, let's say we went for coffee. What do I feel on my way home? Do I feel remorseful? Do I feel like I'm regretting? Do I feel excited? Do I feel energetic?
Wow.
You know, those are things.
Yes.
And now that should be something also shared.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? What are we saying? Are we complaining? Are we feeling this person? Look at what he said. Look, you know, those are the things now you may need to revisit to know where to place a particular friendship. Then again, you can also look at and see there are people who come into our lives and we begin to quarrel.
By the way,
You don't understand
Yes,
the fact that this person is around you. You just discover quarrels have become very frequent in this home. And then if you track it, it's like
leads to
since we
that.
began to be close to this couple or this friend particularly,
Yes.
something has shifted and not for better, for worse. Therefore, you begin to look at what is this that builds us and what is this that destroys. So if the relationship is in the category of the ones that destroy, then you have to begin to say, fine,
All right.
we need to do away with this friendship, but we have to be humane. So what do we do?
And don't burn the
So
bridges.
sometimes one of the
Yeah.
ways
Yes.
is begin to,
Just-
the gap
Yes.
between
Distance,
meetings,
Distance, yeah.
to make it wider.
Yes.
Because again, you're handling a person.
Yeah.
You can't just decide it's
Okay.
over.
All right.
It's not reasonable.
Yes.
The best thing is to just give it time. You know, if you've been meeting on every week, make it maybe 2 weeks, make it
once a month. Yeah.
With time, it
Dies
fizzles
will
out,
die
natural
natural
death.
death.
All right.
Right.
I think this topic of friendship, we've only touched like 3 chapters.
3 chapters, and I
in
would
this
love,
whole book.
I would love for maybe
Yeah.
Pastor Badia
Yes.
to give us an overview
Right.
to the viewers and to us
Yes.
on your book.
Right.
What are we expected? What do we expect
Yeah.
from reading the book? So just we can have a feel of it,
Right.
because we can't cover it in
Right.
in this session.
No,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really. Actually, the overview of this book is this. Many people use many difficult methods to build their marriages. Many people use many hours of counseling and many things just to sort of keep moving. And yet, you can actually be able to resolve all those issues just by being friends. Therefore, let us build friendship so that we avoid many hours of looking for help everywhere. And even for me as a pastor, I know when people are friends, I'll have less to do with them.
Yes.
Because they are easy.
Yes.
They'll easily sort their problems. The problems they would otherwise have brought to me, now they will resolve themselves. And therefore, one of the things I personally do is I encourage couples to really make sure they are deliberately creating time to build friendship.
Yeah.
I do tell people, sometimes I give even prescription and say, from now on, you must go out at least once a week and let me know how it goes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, just go out, have coffee, have fun, whatever, have ice cream, whatever it is,
Yes.
do whatever you want to do. And one of the things we say, when you go out there, don't discuss about your home, don't discuss shopping,
Concentrate
don't
on
discuss
the
money,
both of
don't
you, yes.
just talk nice things as friends.
Yes.
The friendship is like a capsule that has all the ingredients you need to make a marriage work. So if you take that one capsule, there's even a place you talk about the married capsule. If you take that one capsule, you're good to go.
Oh.
On the show, we love having activities and games to just
Yes.
understand the principles and this. But for this one, you've already been given, go and play. You go and play. Don't watch us playing.
You
You
go
go
and
and
play.
play.
I would say that many people are missing out on the beauty
Marriage.
of marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage is beautiful. I mean, every time we say we are married 32 years, even as we are like, really? What?
How did
It doesn't
pass?
feel like 32, I can tell you. I have had many people talk about problems of marriages and what they have done. I'm telling you, we've never gone to see a counselor. 32 years, we've never gone to meet a counselor because we can't agree. Not once. And it's not because we are special. It's just because we live life normal. Very normal life.
Yes.
Very easy. Just easy. And that's us. And therefore, that's what I would encourage everybody. Don't complicate life.
Yes.
Life is simple. It is we who are sophisticated.
Homework, stop complicating things.
Life.
Done.
Yes.
Another thing, what seeds do you bring into your marriage? If they're bad seed, right from the start throwing them away. You know, seeds of conflict, seeds of not being friends. So the earlier, the better. And your marriage you build on a firm foundation and it will grow to the next level.
I think for me, it's just changing what foundation you've laid on the marriage. Marriage is built on friendship.
Yeah, not
Unlike the other way around, where once you get married, now we start building friendship and forget the marriage. For me, that's key.
I would say for me, my takeaway would be there's negative expectations that people go into marriage. You're already being pressured. You're being told, so when you guys fight, this is how you should fight. And I'm like,
No.
we are not fighting.
Must you fight?
Because that is how, before you get married, you're told,
Yes.
so when he's annoyed, this is how you... I'm like, no, he won't be annoyed. We're okay.
Yeah.
So I think, as you're saying, the seeds that are there, just throw away the things you've been told about marriage that we've brought. They were never there. We're the ones who brought
And
it.
That's true.
intentionality.
That's true.
Being intentional
Yes.
in this thing.
Right.
Thank you so much for your wisdom, for your words, for giving us access to your book.
Yes.
And even as we practice all those things we've learned, remember, it's all about
Progress, not perfection. There you have it, guys. Friendship before marriage. Build your marriage on friendship.
True.
And just a quick check in your household. When is the last time you made your partner laugh?
Yeah.
When is the last time you gave them a joke or tickled them and they laughed to tears?
Yeah. I think that's a good way to check. You know, you can say we are friends. Of course we are friends. We live in the same house.
Yes.
But just go back on this episode, check the different areas you've been told you can check to see if you're actually friends. And then I peeped in this book, somewhere, and it said, if you no longer maintain eye contact, if you can't maintain eye contact with your person, things
There's
are
a
thick.
problem.
Things are
Yes.
thick. I am giving you homework, and all your homework is in this book, Friends for Life. We've barely scratched the surface. We have barely gotten into it. But when it comes to marriage, the first thing you want to be told about how a wife behaves, how a husband behaves. You want to talk about sex. Before we get there, are you friends? Let's just start there. As you journey towards friendship, remember, it's all about
Progress,
Not
not
perfection.
perfection.